Hypotheses are of two types. One hypothesis is called as null hypothesis. Another hypothesis is called as alternative hypothesis. Okay. Two words you have to remember. Two words you have to remember. So just the first one is null hypothesis, and the second one is alternate hypothesis. So what I request both of you is just to retype both the hypothesis in the chat window, so that I am confident that you have at least taken those keywords in your mind. The first word is null hypothesis. Type as it is, which I typed. Don't copy paste, type as it is. The second word is alternate hypothesis. There are two types of hypothesis. Please type both the hypothesis in the chat window, Vivan and Uday. Good, Vivan. I am waiting also for Uday. Fantastic, Uday and Vivan. So these are the two words which are very, very important. I'll repeat once again. This is a topic which usually takes time to understand. So even if you read very, very carefully, listen the videos very carefully, listen to the lecture very carefully, it takes time to understand this. But the material which I downloaded or copied is from among the several sources. I found this is to be the easiest. And if you follow me today, and maybe in some next session where we will repeat this to confirm whether we understood or not, I think you'll definitely relate with this topic. This is very important in your life. It will not leave you, whether you are doing research, whether you are doing higher studies, whether you are doing industry, starting your own industry business. So that is the significance of this topic. These are the two words, null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. Null hypothesis is denoted by HO. Null hypothesis is denoted by HO. Alternative hypothesis is denoted by H1 or HA. Okay. So HO means null hypothesis. Alternate hypothesis means HA. So I'm intentionally going slow, intentionally repeating, because I know that this is easy if you follow, very hard if you don't follow. So I just want you to repeat. Null hypothesis means HO. Uday, you can say null hypothesis means HO. It is denoted by HO. Please say it after me. Or if Uday is not there, Vivan can say. Null hypothesis is denoted by HO.
Null hypothesis is denoted by HO.
And alternative, Vivan, you can say alternative hypothesis is denoted by H1 or HA.
Alternative hypothesis is denoted by H1 or HA.
Okay. Now, what is the simple meaning of these two words? The simple meaning of these two words is like this. I will put a hypothesis. I will put a hypothesis. Okay. The hypothesis is null hypothesis. I'll say is Vivan is listening to the class. Vivan is listening to the class. This is the null hypothesis. What is the alternate hypothesis? The alternate hypothesis is the opposite of that will be true. Vivan is not at all listening to the class. Is it not? So null hypothesis, let us say Uday has good interest in some web designing. This is a null hypothesis. The alternate hypothesis will be Uday does not have any interest in web designing. So these are the two extreme words. These are the two extreme words. Okay. Here they have given the meaning of that, but it's okay if you remember this example. What the meaning they are giving? Okay. Null hypothesis HO means sample observation, means random sample from the population. this hypothesis result purely from chance. Okay, these are influenced by some non-random cause, but presently don't remember all that. Just remember null hypothesis means HO or H0, alternate hypothesis means H1 or HA. Null is a hypothesis if it is, let us say, positive. The alternate hypothesis is negative, the extreme opposites of that. Please listen to the example which I am going to narrate from here. Okay, and you should also confirm that you understood what I am saying. You understood what I am saying. Okay. The question is, nowadays you are watching that IPL, right? So what happens in the beginning of the match? The first thing happens is the toss. Okay, and toss is done with the help of coin. Now the hypothesis is toss is fair and balanced. The hypothesis is toss is fair and balanced. Okay, so please listen, because I am going to ask you again whether you understood this example or not. Okay, so you are watching IPL matches, and the first thing happens in a match, cricket match, is toss. And for toss we'll be using a coin, and the hypothesis is the toss is fair and balanced. The toss is fair and balanced. Or sometimes you say na, teacher is fair and balanced, means he gives equal importance to all the students, he is not biased, something like that. So now this is a for this, the null hypothesis, what the null hypothesis says that half the flips would result in heads and half in tails. Is it not? Means 50% of the, whenever the coin is tossed, 50% of the tosses will result in heads and 50% of the tosses will result in tails. When such thing happens, we say that the coin is fair and balanced. The coin is fair and balanced. Now, the alternate hypothesis for this will be the number of heads and tails would be very different. The number of heads and tails will be very different. Now, HO means what? Vivan, HO means what?
Null hypothesis.
Very good. And HA means what? Alternate. HA means alternate hypothesis. Now, can you just, both of you, tell me the meaning of this, which I highlighted here? In this example, that IPL cricket match, toss, coin is tossed, it is fair. So what the null hypothesis says and what the alternate hypothesis says? Okay, I'll try to tell you. Please listen carefully. Null hypothesis, this P equal to 0.5 means it is fair and balanced. It is fair and balanced means whenever the coin is tossed, 50% will result in heads, 50% will result in tails. Say for example, you go for a toss and you went for a toss for 10 times. Out of those 10 times, 5 times came tail and 5 times came head. So that indicates the null hypothesis is, which says that the coin is fair and balanced. Coin is fair and balanced. But suppose Uday went for a toss for 10 times. Uday went for a toss for 10 times. But out of that, let's say 3 times he got head and 7 times he got tails. It means that the coin is not fair and balanced. It means that coin is not fair and balanced. So this is hypothesis, null hypothesis. This is hypothesis, alternate hypothesis. Okay. Same example is given here. We tossed the coin 50 times. Okay. When we tossed the coin 50 times, 40 times head came, 10 times tail came. Okay. So when this such result comes, what will be happening? We'll be rejecting which hypothesis? We'll be rejecting the null hypothesis. And what is the null hypothesis? The null hypothesis is the coin is fair and balanced. The null hypothesis is the coin is fair and balanced. Okay. But suppose if this is the resultant, that 40 times head and 10 times tails, so this is the evidence we got, and depending on that evidence, we are rejecting the null hypothesis. We are rejecting the null hypothesis. So that's why we are saying that our coin is not fair and not balanced. So did you understand this example? Just tell me, did you understand this example? Or I can take it very slowly again for a minute, because it is very important that you understand this example. Otherwise, you will not understand further things. Please confirm. Should I repeat or is it okay?
It is okay, sir.
Good, very good, fantastic. I think Vivan, you have a mathematics background, right? Even Uday too.
No, sir. I don't have. Uday has.
Uday has, I think.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Even when the review of your projects was going on yesterday, you have done phenomenally well, both of you. Shashidhar sir had presented your project, so that was good. So slowly now you are giving final touches to your preparation, I think. Anyways, two words: null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. Null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. And in this example, we have just told how to put null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis, and how to accept and how to reject. Okay. Now coming to testing of the hypothesis. Now we'll be testing the hypothesis as already told on sample data. Suppose population of India is 133 crores. We are not, suppose the sample data is 1 crore or 10 lakhs. That is the sample data. For example, cephalogist of elections. So they will tell, let us say the question asked is, in Bihar elections, which candidate, which party will come to power. So you will be using this only. The hypothesis is, let us say, RJD will come to power. So the alternate hypothesis will be BJP will come into power. So you have a null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis, and the sample data will be from every constituency. Let us say you take 100 or 200 people for survey. So that is the meaning of a sample data. Now, how you are going to perform hypothesis testing? It has many steps. How you are going to perform hypothesis testing? It has many steps. Okay. First step is state the hypothesis. Where we have stated the hypothesis? See here, we have stated the two hypotheses. One is the null hypothesis and the other one is the alternate hypothesis. Once you stated the hypothesis, you should ensure that the null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis, are mutually exclusive. Kind of yes and no. If the null hypothesis is yes, then alternate hypothesis will be no, kind of thing. Okay. Now, after stating the hypothesis, you have to formulate an analysis plan. Okay. So what this analysis plan indicates, how we are going to make use of the sample data to evaluate the null hypothesis. Okay. So now we have to find out various test statistics measures like mean score, proportion, T statistic, Z score. Presently, you may not be able to understand anything, but you have to just remember that you have to do some statistical calculations. And then at the end, you have to interpret the results by saying either I am accepting the hypothesis or I am rejecting the hypothesis. Okay. So, for example, here what he's saying, if the value of the test statistics is unlikely based on the null hypothesis, reject the null hypothesis. Now, so two words again. First word is null hypothesis. Second word is alternate hypothesis. Now again two words. What those two words are? The two words are types of errors. There are two types of errors. Type 1 error, type 2 error. Now again we'll go very, very slowly because I'm sure we may lose the track here. Okay. Type 1 error. Okay. Type 1 error, what it indicates? Type 1 error will be coming when we reject a null hypothesis when it is true. Are you getting the meaning of this? Just the meaning of this. Let us say the null hypothesis is true. It means the hypothesis is to be accepted. It means the hypothesis is to be accepted. But what we are doing, we made a mistake, we performed an error, we made an error, and using, because of that error, we are rejecting the null hypothesis, though the null hypothesis is true. When such thing happens, that is called as a type 1 error. When such thing happens, that is called as a type 1 error. Now, the probability of committing a type 1 error is called significance level. The probability of committing a type 1 error is called significance level. And this probability is also called as alpha. This probability is also called as alpha. So I'll just focus on type 1 error. My request to both of you is you read one after another. First Uday will read, then Vivan will read whatever is written related to type 1 error, please. Yeah, guys, are you there? Uday and Vivan, are you there? Uday, Vivan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. My request to you is this type 1 error, please read for me. This type 1 error which I highlighted. Because as I told, it may be a tough topic to understand.
Type 1 error. A type 1 error occurs when the researcher rejects a null hypothesis when it's true. The probability of committing a type 1 error is called as significance level. This probability is also called alpha and is often denoted by alpha.
Vivan, can you just highlight or try to explain what is the meaning of type 1 error by looking at this content and present in your own words? Okay. Uday, did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you just tell me? I just want to confirm.
Sir, when the type 1 error occurs when the hypothesis it's true and but it's rejected by the researcher.
Oh, very
That's
good. Very good. Very good.
we kind of studied it, sir, means not very clearly in BRM, sir, business research methods. This and synopsis also, sir.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Hmm. Uh, and what is the meaning of significance level?
Uh,
Yes, correct. It is the probability of committing a type 1
committing a
error.
type 1 error. Yeah.
Okay. And it is also called as alpha. That's it. I just wanted to confirm. You are very correct. There are mappings in the subjects like BRM also has this topic. If I'm not wrong, if you have taken that subject. Let us take the second type 2 error now. Type 2 error occurs when the researcher failed to reject a null hypothesis. Okay, a null hypothesis is false. A null hypothesis is false. So a null hypothesis is to be rejected. But the type, because of type 2 error, we do not do that. What we don't do that? We do not reject the null hypothesis. We do not reject the null hypothesis. Now, the probability of committing type 2 error is called as beta. The probability of type 2 error is called as beta. The probability of not committing a type 2 error is called as power of the test. The probability of not committing a type 2 error is called as the power of the test. Okay, so I'll just recheck whatever I said. There are two types of errors. First two words, null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. First two words, null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. Now, in that, you have two types of errors, type 1 error and type 2 error. Type 1 error and type 2 error. Now, type 1 error, what are the words associated with significance level, okay, which is denoted by alpha. Significance level, which is denoted by alpha. What is the meaning of significance level? The meaning of significance level is the chances of making this error, type 1 error, the chances of making type 1 error is called as significance level. It is called as the significance level, and it is denoted by alpha, and it is denoted by alpha. Now, second thing is, what is the meaning of type 1 error? What is the meaning of type 1 error? That also is important. The meaning of type 1 error is null hypothesis is true. Null hypothesis is true, but we are rejecting null hypothesis. Now coming to type 2 error, let us look at the words. Type 2 error has two words. One word is beta, okay? The other word is power. The other word is power. What is the meaning of beta? The meaning of beta is the chances of me committing type 2 error. The chances of me committing type 2 error. It is indicated by beta, okay? And the probability of not committing type 2 error is called as power. The probability of not committing type 2 error is called as power. Okay? The probability of not committing type 2 error is called as the power of the test. It is called as the power of the test. So what is alpha? Okay. What is significance level? Okay. Committing the error, significance level. Okay. This probability alpha. So hopefully you'll remember that. Now, coming to the decision rules. The decision rules will be helping us in either rejecting or accepting the null hypothesis. Okay. The decision rules are discussed with reference to a p-value or with reference to a region of acceptance. The decision rules are discussed with reference to a p-value or with reference to a region of acceptance. Now, what is the meaning of p-value and what is the meaning of region of acceptance? It is written here. The strength of evidence in support of null hypothesis. The strength of evidence in support of null hypothesis is measured by p-value. Okay, is measured by p-value. Presently, you remember this much only, because rest of the thing I'll just tell you. But even if you don't remember, that's fine. Maybe at the later stage you can refine what it says. Okay, let us say some calculation you are doing for testing. That calculation results in some value. That calculation results in some value. Okay, the p-value, what it indicates, it is the probability of observing the result till the result value, whatever is the result value, till that result value, to that extreme if you are able to go, then that is called as the p-value, which is the strength. That is called as the p-value, which is the strength. Okay, which is the strength of evidence. Okay, now here very interesting, this you have to compulsorily remember. What is that? If the p-value is less than significance level, if the p-value is less than significance level, we reject the null hypothesis. We reject the null hypothesis. Again, here you have to remember what is significance level. What is significance level? Significance level is we are committing error. We are committing a type 1 error. We are committing a type 1 error. So the percentage of committing a type 1 error is significance level. Significance level. So what is p-value? The strength of evidence in support of a null hypothesis. If this is less than the significance level, we reject the null hypothesis. We reject the null hypothesis. Coming to region of acceptance. Coming to region of acceptance. It is a range of values. Okay. The region of acceptance is a range of values. If the test statistics falls within the range of acceptance, the null hypothesis is not rejected. Okay, the region of acceptance is defined so that the chance of making a type 1 error is equal to the significance level. Again, remember the significance level. What is significance level? Probability of committing a type 1 error is called as the significance. Okay, so The set of values outside the region of acceptance is called region of rejection. Okay. If the test statistics falls within the region of rejection, the null hypothesis is rejected. In such cases, we say that the hypothesis has been rejected at the alpha level of significance. Now what we'll do is we'll take a break of 5 minutes and we'll join with other link. Okay. Is it okay, Uday and Vivan? Shall we join with other link?